G'day, happy Monday. Interesting day today. Creating this funded next account. Small account. So trying to get those consistent gains and consistent green days in to see if we can scale them further in the coming months. Not rushing the process, not worrying too much about where we stand in terms of percentage gains. Just trying a slow and steady approach. But when the markets are in favorable conditions, which it seems these days they are, because winter time is coming in and we've been seeing a lot of continuation of the trends, then putting the foot on the gas pedal wouldn't be a bad idea. Being ruthless and aggressive and you're making the money. But when it's choppy and the edge is not playing out, I think it'll be wise to just stay out of the market. Again, some rules to live by today: urgency kills, speed of execution after confirmation, waiting for A+ setups patiently, controlling the process, leaving the outcome, and trade selection. One or two good hits can really put this whole situation profitable. So I've had some trading pre-market. Right about here. Took a few trades, a couple of quick exits. The losses look a lot larger because it was E-mini, one E-mini contract, which means it's $20 per point. But I caught a really nice one here. So a couple of 3 or 4 losers. I kept trading. I should have just only limited to a couple here, but it was about 3 or 4 losers in a row. And then I had a really good trade here. Came back up, retested here, trading the E-mini. I just shift to micros now and see how that plays out. Market opening in about 4 minutes. I'm going to come in and draw the overnight range. See how that plays out. Seeing some good volume come in, and there's some fundamentals that market's waiting on. Just Trump and its decision on the visa processes, specifically the H-1B, where the businesses would be charged about $100,000 if they are keeping H-1B visa or sponsoring H-1B visas. So they'll be charged. I'm not sure. Sometimes Trump likes to just bluff to test the market and see how people react. But it could really turn out to be true, and which means a lot of the skilled labor, it'll be very hard for them to get visas in the US. And all that news is hunky-dory, good or bad, we don't know. We're just going to see how the market reacts to it. We might see a big rally or see how the market reacts to it. We might see a big rally or we might see a big dump, depending on how businesses and market take this news. So we're all waiting on that. So let's see. But we've hit all-time highs and we're trying to rally higher. So the overall trend is bullish for sure. But that does not mean that we're not going to see a kill candle. One rug pull and we'll be revisiting 24640s. But even for gold, we've been looking at a very strong bull market. It's been just trending higher and higher. Kind of few pullbacks, but keeps trending higher. There was an outlook for gold to come revisit 3,400 before it rallies higher, but it never did. After this big kind of sell-off or consolidation, we've just been seeing this strong uptrend. So same for the NAS, the markets. We saw this little big consolidation phase here. Kind of huge swing downs and ups, and a lot of volatility kicked in and kind of went for some compression. But overall, if you look at it this year or the start of the year, it's been a strong bull momentum. Just looking at the daily, it'll be more conclusive. Very strong uptrend momentum. Yes, there was some sideways action going from in the past couple of months from 8th to about 9th. Past month was really tricky, and also the month before, everything compressed, and that's when I started trading on these prop accounts. Didn't see a lot of success because the market was just up, down, a lot of choppy action coming in. And on the days that it was going really well, I passed those trading accounts. But then when I was going on the funded stage, that was, the next day it will turn out to be, or the next week, very choppy again. So hoping for a nice, consistent market where it's easy for the trend, for reading the trend. So that's the 2 cents. Market just opened. I haven't even drawn my overnight range yet. So let's do that. And this is not important. This is just a visual representation for where buyers and sellers are sitting at. How the market's reacting towards these levels. And that's just for me. Looks like we're trending higher. Way higher, way quickly, So wouldn't hurt to be a tad bit more patient, because the quicker we go higher, the quicker we're going to come down. So, but I'm going to see if there's some opportunity. I'll definitely take it. Looking at that wedge break was perfect. The wedge break was just phenomenal. Rejected right at that level, 24784, and then kept grinding higher. Now let's see. I'm gonna at least come and draw the low and the high of the overnight range. Looks very exciting, but I'm excited for some other reasons, not for the market. Market's just doing its own thing. To be honest, it's very boring. The same setups every day, and that's how it should be. Should get a kick out of. It should be very mundane, very process-like. And actually, what I haven't done is come and do my daily focus checklist. So let's do that. Taking a while to load up. Pre-market, this is kind of for the stuff here as well, but taking a while to load up. Not sure what's happening here. Try it in a bit. My internet's just playing up a touch. It's been like this. Sure why though. All right. Kind of risky looking at this big bull candle. Let's see what happens after it closes in about 50 seconds. Yeah, it's just not working, eh? Keep trading higher. That's what's happening. We keep pushing higher. Days like these, I'm like, okay, we can come and quickly make about $100, $200 with E-minis. Kind of risky, but should be approached like this how it should be done. Very risky though.
Order filled.
These are going to be quick scalps. Not expecting too much from them. Just taking advantage of the volatility. See if we can get those quick 10, 15 to 5 points, whatever the market wants to give me. Decent entry. Let's see if we get the follow through. See? I just get stopped out. That would have been a better entry here. But we'll see.
Order
Getting out
filled.
there. Could be a double top. Could move higher. But as I said, it was going to be a quick 5 to 10 pointer. And I'm just trying to follow the plan. Just getting advantage of the volatility. Kind of puts me break even on the day. And now we'll wait. See how this moves or turns out or where it stops. But what I'm seeing, I can definitely see this trend coming along here. So if we break free from it and go higher, we're going to see a lot of volume kick in. So wouldn't mind going long just with the volume. But seeing that there's going to be a lot of resistance here, so wouldn't mind going short as well. Anything, I want to go short more than long, so let's try that.
Order filled.
Could be completely wrong, but I'm seeing a lot of fake outs come in and we might just get a nice big retracement back to 24835s. This is going to be a quick scalp as well because volatility is very high and I just want to get those quick 5-10 pointers. That's the plan. And we're stuck in between the opening range and also the overnight range, so there's a higher probability that we'll pull back in, kind of grab that liquidity because we just seen a nice big bull candle on the first 5 minutes. So, and there's a trend line there that needs breaking. I don't want to get caught. If we get a bounce off of it, it'll be very sharp and like a sharp bounce. So the plan was to get in with 5 micros but I ended up trading one mini because I think it works out nicely for me. This small account um, that's quite high, but I've realized the reason I've been not trading well when it comes to the funded stage is because there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear that you're going to lose the account and you worked hard to get up to this point. So strategy this time around was just eliminating a lot of that fear, just trading how I trade and just caging my risk. And if I had lost on that trade, and then I would have just switched back to micros or stopped trading for the day. But if I'm winning, then I would have just continued doing what I do, but with the same amount of size. I still did not go with two minis, just one mini. It's a lot for this account size, but I think it worked out well. I can switch to micros now, and with that trade logic was really intact, that there was a nice big let me draw it here as well. The nice big resistance level, and we couldn't break free or we couldn't close above, and there was a lot of volume that kicked in, so I went short. Surely the plan was just to stay till 1 5-minute candle, and then we kind of moved a lot lower as well. From, let's say I got out at 3.6, market's trading at 2.8, so could have gotten 10 more points out of it, but you never know. I'm just trying to secure those points. I'm happy with that trade. Just been the accuracy has dropped a lot today because of the few. But good thing to note is my average losing trade is $125, and my average winning trade is $245. So that's a good ace. And keep this account alive. That's a good ace. And keep this account alive for the longest time possible. Just trying to align my trading or work around my process that's in correspondence with that logic, that okay, if I survive this account for a month or 2 or 3 or a year, then I have a better chance at getting most amount of payouts, or building a lot of cushion on the account and factoring in a lot of the good and the bad trading weeks, months, days, whatever. The goal is just to survive this account, build enough cushion so that I can get some payouts, and then getting more funded accounts just like this one. With Funded Next, they allow up to $300,000 worth of funding, max funding for the futures account. So if I'm going with $25,000 accounts or $50,000 account, that's about 6 to 12 accounts that I can copy trade in between. And let's say I made 300 on one account today, I could have easily made, if you multiply it by, let's say, 300 times 6 is about $1,800. And if it were $25,000 accounts and I had 12 accounts, it would be $3,600. And if I half that, let's say I want to take half of the withdrawal, that's $1,800 worth of withdrawal just today. That's the goal. Looking at the bigger picture. And there's also a consistency rule with funded futures, 40% consistency rule. So I admit I can't take all of that money out in the first go. But let's say I have 3-4 days just like so, even with losses and stuff. And I average about 150 a day. About 150, and I have $300,000 of max allocation. Let's say I do 150 a week even. After losses and stuff, that's $1,800. And if I divide it by 2, let's say I want to take half of that as profits, and $900 worth of withdrawals on average per week. And that would give an income of $3,600 to about $4,500. Nothing too shabby, not groundbreaking, not life-changing, but that would allow, let's say, scaling up to even more prop firm accounts, waiting for 3-4 months and building that equity, and I'll be trading my personal account as well, and I can probably put that on stream. But the whole logic or the point is going to be typically trading that personal account intraday with the same rules and guardrails that we have for these prop firm accounts. So there's less discrepancy, there's more consistency, and kind of more scale. Over time, if let's say one prop firm's given $300,000 of funding and another prop firm's given $300,000 of funding, and overall we can have about $600,000 to $750,000 of funding, then it's going to be, let's say, $2,000 to $3,000 per day of trading. It's not going to be 300. So very relative. That can scale pretty quickly. That decimal point can just shift a couple of digits very quickly in trading. So that's the proof of concept. If I can consistently hit that mark on one account, I can do it over 10 accounts. And then we're talking. And then that's a significant amount of money. So let's say I average about, let's say, $200. Nothing shabby, nothing too big. $200. And I do it for 3 days a week. Or let's say 2 days a week. Being very conservative because there are going to be losses and stuff. So let's say that's about $400 a week. And if I have 10 accounts, just like so, I'm planning to, that's $4,000 a week. And if I just do even, let's say, 3 weeks like that, not even 4 weeks, that's $12,000. If I withdraw about half of that, I'm going to be withdrawing more because there is no half rule with firms that I'm trading. This is not Top Step. Then we're looking at about $6,000 a month, and surely they're going to be months that are not going to be profitable. So this is not life-changing income, but this is some side thing that you can really scale. Let's say a couple of months later, I get my personal account and now I go high growth strategy on those accounts. So I try to go 2E minis or where I try to really push the envelope. The downside is going to be higher, but there's going to be significant amount of upside as well. That's the logic behind trading scale and leverage and all that sort of good stuff. Looks like we're breaking out. Looks like it. That's the orb setup or the breakout setup. Markets just wants to break out right now. So I'll see if I can go long. Well, it didn't give me a long position, did it? Risk is very high here. I'm going to admit. That's if I move my limit a little bit lower.
Order filled.
I'm in. Let's see if we can continue going higher. And that's going to be the orb setup. Opening range breakout. I'm seeing a lot of volume, but it could flip easily on the downside. Ideally, what I should have done is wait for this candle to close higher. And I did not wait 10 more seconds to close because I'm just anticipating the volume being high and we closing outside of the opening range or right at it. But if it's a, what do you want to call it? If it's a fake out, then absolutely we're going to see a big reversal there. But let's see. Market's been bullish overall. We've seen some nice bull candles. We don't know what's going to happen. I could have secured that $300 a day, but this is an A+ setup that I just don't want to miss. So let's see what happens. What I would like to see is a lot of volume come in there. If there's not a lot of volume kicking in, then I might be just inclined to close the trade. Has to be a lot of volume. I'm closing
Order
it there.
filled.
I'm not seeing a lot of volume kick in. The candle's just playing too much. The downside is a lot more higher than the upside at the moment. It could go higher, but volume's just not there. If anything, I'm seeing a big short come in and yeah. So, not a fan of what just happened there. That's the pullback. All right.
Order
I'm gonna go
filled.
long again. I'm seeing some volume kick in pretty quickly. The average price is not the greatest at the moment, but I'm just following the volume, baby. See if you can break out this time. Keep pushing higher. Keep the momentum going. That average price was way better last time. But let's see. If it's a true bull trend, we're going to see a couple more strong bull 5-minute candles closing higher and higher. That's what I would like to see. Trying to be patient. Apparently, it's not looking too good. Usually, it should just be a very strong volume that pushes everything higher and the shorts to cover. At the moment, it's just flirting with it, and that's not a great sign. Maybe it's a slow market. Maybe it's a slow grind day, but let's see. Maybe it is a slow grind day. I'm just not liking it. Oh, there you go. Maybe it is a slow grind day. Market's been a little bit more tamed. I'm not used to it. Gotta get used to the good markets now. These are good markets. The price action is holding. And you're not seeing a lot of crazy kill candles. And it's just a slow grind, but it's getting to the price targets. So that's a great market. I'm just used to that terrible conditions in the past couple of months. Terrible conditions. So that kind of, jades you in a way. That when you see a good setup or good things come up, you're like hesitant. You're like, that's why I got out early. I'm like, all right, it's going, but it's just being very hesitant. It could reverse pretty quickly. So, but what we are witnessing is a slow grinding, consistent market. So, let's see. We hit PT. I'm happy to just close it there when we hit that mark. That's what you don't want to see. Healthy pullback is good, but that's That's bad. It's coming right to the entry, and it signified two things: trend reversal, or it's gonna trend even higher, because pullback is important for the market to grab some liquidity and then move higher. So, but that's not good. Maybe it's a slow grind. I'll give it some time. But maybe PT was too generous. Not really. It's sitting at 5885. Right at that high. Maybe he was generous. Let's see. Looks like a slow trend day. Thinking of moving my stop break even, and I didn't do that because I thought, okay, we're going to continue higher, and I didn't want to get stopped out too quickly. But there you go. Market conditions for you. Might just stop me out and then move higher. I just moved my stop right below this wick here. That is the all-time high. We're going to beat the all-time highs, or at least, because that's a very strong rejection point. We rejected once, twice, thrice. We're trying the fourth time. If we trend higher, it's going to be sublime. I'm looking at 24,900s. That's really going to get my consistency rule high, peach, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about the setup. If it's a good setup. Let's move my profit target a little bit higher. I'm seeing good volume kick in. All of that pullback has been bought up. And if we break free that all-time high, we're going to see a big move and acceleration. Shorts covering, and going to be higher volume. That's what I'm looking for. So, as David Paul said, when it's time to buy, every cell in your body will tell you not to buy. Because it's set highs, My previous self would be like, let's short it and find the high and just short it. And so we can short it. And it keeps trending higher. So this is the most exciting and the most boring part of trading. You don't know if it's going to come hit your stop or get break even or actually get some volume. How's the whole world's perceiving it at the moment? Because everyone's watching, everyone's seeing, and there's a lot of greed and fear in the market. Everyone knows that there's a lot of resistance there. Should we close it here or wait for it to just break free and hit new highs, hit new all-time high? You know? That's the thinking process at the moment. That's why all the buyers up here in this region, they're going to hold for prices to even go higher. And all the shorts are going to cover. They're going to pile up heavy here, but once it breaks free, breaks the 24880, we're going to see all those shorts becoming buyers and covering their position. And there'll be a strong acceleration towards the next psych level, which is 890. That's the thesis. That's the logic behind the whole trade. Let's see. I want to see a strong acceleration. If not, I'm closing it here. There you go. Seeing some movement. Slow grind. But seeing it's at all-time highs, volume reaction at this point. We don't want to see a slow grind or consolidation. All right, it's like so. Strong volume reaction. And keep trending higher. That's when all the shorts are going to cover. This is their stop loss orders getting hit. About a couple of minutes before this candle closes, so do some strong reaction. That's first TP hit, by the way. And that was just right there. Are we going to break free? Hit all-time highs? Very tricky to know. Minute 25 seconds before this candle closes. Needs to close higher. Otherwise, sellers are going to see this as a signal. Trying for it again. It's trying to break free. 890. $40 seconds. I'm going to
Order
close
filled.
it there. I don't want a strong reversal. You could also argue that I stopped out, trailed my stop, mental trail, but let's say I trailed my stop and I stopped out. Yeah, there's strong rejection there. I'm not seeing it break at the moment. Anything, I want to be a seller. I didn't see that strong move higher. And that big wick is a telltale. And also consolidating at the highs. It could move higher, but I'm happy with that exit. Now it's uncertain. Yeah, it could go higher. Have like a big wick just to take out the orders.
Order filled.
I'm going to try a stab short. Trying to risk some of the profits on the day. See if we can maximize the day. That would have been a better entry. That's all right. And that's already too many trades for me, so let's see if this plays out. This might not work out. This might be a stop loss. But it's worth trying.
Stop filled.
Yep. Pretty gnarly stop loss. $200. I'll leave it at that. Not sure. Looks very bullish. Keep wanna buying it, but could see a big pullback as well. So not sure.
Order filled.
Could be wrong. But I feel like it's a short. Let's see. Quick scalps.
Order filled.
Okay. That was a quick scalp. Could keep going lower, which it is. I was just hesitant for some reason, and that means that's my day. I just thought that was not going to reach here and would just move higher like it did here, but it was actually a really good move, and I missed that part. So I feel like I'm leaving a lot of money on the table, even when I'm getting some good trades in the books. So here's the trading for the day. Kind of picked up a lot of that slack as well. Went very out of the money, but then kind of recovered and not looking too bad. Here are the trades. First losing streak, 1, 2, 3, 4 losing trades in a row. But a couple of trades kind of wiped all of those losers. And then that was a pretty big win. That was a break even. Could have been a little bit of profit, but that was a break even or profit. And this could have been avoided, but pretty good exit, consistent loss. And this could have turned out to be a $400 trade. I got out pretty early because just not feeling it at the moment for some reason. Market's just slowing down. Maybe I need to get in a better rhythm. But if you look at it, I got out at about 878, 868. And market just quickly rallied 5-10 points lower as well. So from 868 to the next structure, 860, 59, or 60 even would have been a good exit, 8 points. That's 8 times 20, 100, and $160 extra, or $200 I could have gotten out of the trade. So if anything, I want to short it here again, but I'm not too sure if that's a great idea because we're kind of flirting with that structure here. But if we also want to get below the opening range, if we get below the opening range, if we close it here, that kind of signifies that, okay, we might just keep trending lower and get sucked back into the opening range. But I'm happy with my trading for the day. You always want to maximize your winning days. That's a trader's mindset. But the more exposure to the market means you could lose all of that money as well in one single trade. So maybe I'm going to attack it with a 5 micro mindset and see if I can just go with 5 micros and see if there's any trade available there for me or something. But I'm pretty happy with how today turned out. It's not much at the moment. Just to review everything, that opening range breakout was pretty solid. Let me just come and draw all those trades, and that was a pretty big trade for me. Kind of lost a lot of the money here as well, but gained some as well. So I'm just gonna go for my best trade here, right? 771 to 89. 89 to 771. Solid exit. That kind of recovered a lot for me for that day. That would have been my stop loss. That's great, right? Another great trade, spotting the market, going long. Actually, I went short first right there. That was a great trade. So and I knew what I was getting into, a quick scalp. Right. So 843 to 849. And that was all done in a single bar. I'm not the most happiest with that trade. That could have turned out very wrong, but I kind of got lucky. RR was just 1:1 on that one. So I can't even see it on the chart. It's so little, that trade, but hey, trade. And then the short was pretty good. That short was 3.6 to 5.2. Right, so 3.6. And I like this short because it just followed the momentum right at the candle. It was fearless and it followed the perfect path. 1 minute, 3.6 to 5.2. Pretty quick trades. Not gonna lie. Five two. Five two to 3.6. Getting out there pretty quickly. There you go. Stop was right there. So even that was like a 1:2. What was it about? 1:2. That's not bad. The exits were pretty quick. And the biggest trade kind of was buying the highs and selling even higher. And then shorting the high. And then so I made money both ways. That's a pretty strong point for the day. 879. Oh, 6.5 to 7.9. So let's just lock that in as well. 6.5. Roughly there to 7.9. Happy with that exit completely. And I waited a little bit more. It could have just come down, pieced on me, but very, very happy with my exit. I gave it some chance to, it came down to my level and would have just stopped me out pretty prematurely. So I'm happy with that exit. That was almost a 1:1 trade, 1:1.9, but yeah. And it didn't go higher. I literally kind of top ticked it. And then I lost. I thought it was just going to go higher, but that sell position was a little bit too quick. Then that was a little loser there. Nothing too shabby, but then came the really nice short, which kind of fixed everything up from 7.8 to 6.8. So from 7.8. And this journaling is very important because people forget stuff. We forget. It's always a good reminder to keep looking back when you're feeling lost. Just know what the A+ setups were, what worked on the day. Because it's easy to look at the chart, hindsight, that everything was just moving higher. Like so. It was trending higher. But how would you trade it? Where would you enter? Where would you hold? Where would be your stop loss? All that sort of stuff. So right now what I'm looking at is actually that big. That played out perfectly for me. That's why I took that short there. Worked out beautiful. That little long, that little short. I'm going to come in and change the color for that one. Right. And what I'm looking at, market just rallying higher. So could be a strong buy position here just to get this few points, but we don't know yet. A lot of resistance here that it needs to get past. But also I'm looking at this short-term trend as well. Clear trend. That's market's just trying to fight or it's just stuck in, So that's what we're looking at. Do I want to get another trade? Absolutely. If we push higher, wouldn't mind just going for a long. Do I want to secure my current profits on the day? Absolutely. I want to walk away with 580. So we don't know. I'm just going to risk a little. And see if we can some extra cash out of the market. That's pretty good. That's good volume.
Order filled.
Let's see if we can go to 24,900s this time. Quick, big sweep. One sweep and it's going to do it. Because we already broke and the shorts are going to cover here pretty hard. Or this could be a big fake out. The market never sees 24,900s, but we'll find out. Anything, I've got a very tight stop loss. You know, this is what the market's looking like right now when you zoom out of it. But I'm looking at 24,900s for sure. That would be a good trade. You can quickly go and hit the sweep it, hit the TP. If not, my entry is not the best. Wouldn't mind getting out if we don't see volume, but I think we'll see volume. I just want to see where this candle closes in a couple of minutes. We already broke out of the wedge. Just want to see if it closes higher. I'm going to give it a minute, 57 seconds. What I don't want it to come and just wick me out and then move higher, but it is what it is. Can't control the markets. And that was too much talking for the day. Been almost an hour since I've been trading. I would like to close it after this trade, regardless of the outcome. And I would consider it a pretty good trading day, regardless of the outcome. I just know I followed my rules and I had my guardrail system. I had a good read on the market. I executed flawlessly and ruthlessly. Maybe jumped the gun on this last trade, this one, but even that's a breakout trade. If the momentum or the volume continues, in 48 seconds, we'll know if the candle closes higher. If it does close higher, that means we just hit all-time highs on that little wick. That's all-time highs, so we might just keep trending higher. 24,900 is the next possible psychological level that I'm looking at. It can easily go higher, but I'm just being a little bit conservative. Seeing that we already so high on the day and could easily reverse or correct or pull back for some more liquidity. I just want to lock in that profit. So that's the logic behind the trade. Right? Closing above in 2 seconds. That's the candle that's going to continue the momentum higher because we closed above. That's a pretty strong close. Pretty strong bull close. That's the little pullback. That's the entry. I could have entered here, but I entered a little bit early because I didn't want to miss the train. That would have been a nicer entry here as well. So let's see. We slow grind it out, or this was the end of the move. One big quick sweep up is going to hit TP. And that would be 887 to 900s. That'd be like 12 points, 13 points. If it gives me that, I'm happy with 13 points, 10 points, especially in this slow grinding market. You can easily just have one trade and let it run, but seeing that I'm also trying to get money on the short side and the long side, it kind of accumulates a lot of points rather than waiting in one trade and letting it run and hoping for the best. And I've done that before, and I would love to do that on swings and stuff. But current intraday conditions, I think this is what's been working for me. A little bit of patience and quick at securing profits. I've left so much money on the table just hoping that, okay, the trade will run and this will be that hero trade and it works. But with prop firms having such minimum drawdowns and limits, it's not working, at least for me. So I adapted. I shifted my mindset, tweaked my strategy. Are we going to get 24,900s? Let's go. Let's do this. Next move. Slow grind. Let's go hit that limit. Just trying to do it. Slow grind. Thinking about it. I'm going to go stop break even. Let it run. Hit TP. Almost a point away. Missed by a tick. Wanted to close it, but I'm adamant that I'm just going to leave it for it to hit my limit. That's good for my risk reward. If anything, I'm looking at 905s here. I'm just going to extend my limit a touch higher to squeeze a little bit more profit from it. Here you go. Perfect. Beautiful.
Order filled.
Really great move to move that limit a little bit higher. Not too high, so that it kind of reverses, but it was perfect. 320. Really happy with that. Just didn't want to get caught in that little pullback. And keep going higher? Absolutely. But I think that was a really nice trade. Kind of puts me really healthy on the day. Consistency is going to be a bitch now. I'll have to keep trading minis, because if I trade micros, I don't think I can hit $800 per day. But if I consistently hit a couple of hundreds over time, then I think we're looking pretty healthy, the account and everything else. So really happy with today, almost $900. And looking at the equity curve, right about 55% of the time, my losers are smaller than my winners, because I'm patient with my winners and kind of got out of that slum. Really happy with this trading. Wasn't scared at all. This is going to be one for the books. After that break, that entry was just perfect. Could have waited for that other entry here, but even getting a little bit early wasn't the worst thing in the world. So from 887 to 903, and that exit, we just top ticked it for now. Really, really happy with that exit and moving that limit a little bit higher, and that just comes with experience looking at that volume. And because 900 was the limit, but usually we slip a little bit higher just to get those couple of points and just to get that stop loss run. So I just went and top ticked the stop loss run, I guess. That was 887 to 903. Not every day is like today. I hope it was. And that's what we wish for. That's why we journal. So we make sure that we imprint this day in our brains, and every day is just repeatable. This was a very boring day, slow grind, but we got the most out of it. And even now, this is a great buy for it to keep grinding higher. But we made our money. 887 to 903. Let's go log this trade as well. 887 to 903. Beauty. Below the wick here. That was a 1:2 almost. Okay, with that, thanks everyone for watching. I'll close the day here. Great start, great strong start for the week. Happy Monday. Usually Mondays were choppy, but we're seeing a strong market return during the winter season. And great trading on my part today. Absolutely, there were some losers, but they were smaller than the winners. This account, I think the position size was a little bit higher, but I kept everything exactly how I was keeping in my challenge phase or my combine phase. And there was no fear of execution. There was no fear of kind of losing everything or just being very careful. I saw the setups. I took them. Sometimes there were times when I put the gas pedal, put on my gas pedal, went for the classic breakout trades, setups. Could have waited a touch bit more for confirmation, but my stops were pretty tight and I knew what my risk was going to be. Today just turned out to be a healthy profit day. This could have easily ended at $300 or $200 for the day, but it kind of worked out nicely. So let's see what tomorrow's got to bring. I might size down to 5 contracts tomorrow or just keep it the same. We'll see how tomorrow or what tomorrow's got to bring. Until then, thanks everyone for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.